After her husband lost his job in the midst of a 4-year-long legal battle, Kelly Kinney and her family had their home loans sold off and are now at risk of foreclosure.
The new company, Carrington, they have no knowledge of the paperwork or any of the backstory, and so that kind of led us to where we are today.
Kelly says Carrington Mortgage didn't inform her what was happening with the loan and what she should do next.
We couldn't get them to talk to us. They were telling us they had no records of our stuff, but then there was so many, they had no payments, they weren't sending us payment notices, they weren't telling us where the money, it was really just confusing.
It wasn't until Kelly contacted Richard Szerman to help that they began to make any sort of progress.
Most of the big banks unfortunately behave like that, and there's very little to prevent them from doing that. They are quite honestly, they are allowed to lie to their own clientele with impunity. Carrington is bad at their job. And it's one thing that they're incompetent, that's up to them and their management, that's not my problem. But it is the Kinneys' problem, and that's my problem, because their incompetence is liable to cost them their home. And that's just not acceptable.
This isn't the first shocking case Richard has seen. Earlier this year, KHTS ran a story about Steve Yu, another Santa Clarita resident who fell victim to a servicer after his loan was sold.
As bad as they have been treated by Carrington Mortgage, they have a pretty decent case if they wanted to take this sort of thing to court. The problem is it would cost them somewhere between $30,000 to $60,000 before they ever saw the inside of a courtroom. Now, if you're already in foreclosure, if you're already fighting to hold on to your home, if you're already fighting for a loan modification, how do you possibly have the kind of money it would take, let alone the time, but the kind of money it would take to go toe-to-toe?
It's been really hard for us. My son is going off to college and things like that, but, coming out of what we came out of, we're looking for a fresh start to just start over and get our lives back on track. And so it's been really hard that you're coming out of one huge event and you're just trying to get someone to listen to you.
Still, Kelly is hopeful for a positive outcome.
Whether it's, us having to start over, at the very least, they won't be able to just railroad us out in this way. It makes me feel like I'm not alone in this situation.
And as I stand here right now, I could not tell you whether this house is being foreclosed on next week or not. And that's ridiculous.
Melissa Lampert, KHTS Features.